a late-night prank at a locally infamous haunted house. Several teenage boys, just fooling around for fun, never imagined the joke would ultimately turn into a deadly nightmare. The story begins during Lou's high school years. Back then, near Lou's home stood an old residential compound for factory workers' families. Hidden within it was a terrifying haunted house everyone feared to mention. It was an old courtyard house built in the 1950s. It was once occupied by a family of three. The husband had originally been kind-hearted and hardworking. The wife was a middle school teacher. They had a young son together, but later the husband fell into bad habits. He loafed around all day. He squandered the family's savings. Eventually he lost his job. From then on, he drowned himself in alcohol. He frequently beat his wife when drunk. One time, in a drunken rage, he accidentally hurled his son violently to the ground. The child was rushed to the hospital, but could not be saved. The husband was sentenced to prison for negligent homicide. The once happy family completely fell apart. Unable to bear the successive blows, the wife lost all hope and hanged herself. From that point on, strange incidents began occurring in the house. Rumors of hauntings grew more and more intense. Back then, an experienced exorcist had once come to resolve the matter. But not only did he fail to suppress the evil spirits, he was instead injured by something inside and left with a crippled leg. The strange happenings gradually spread throughout the entire alley. Nearby residents experienced bizarre events in their homes one after another. Even multiple deaths occurred. People eventually moved away. The whole alley became deathly silent. At the time, Lou was in his rebellious phase. He often hung out with his three childhood friends. They were Yang, Liu, and Chen. They frequently stayed out until midnight. That gloomy alley was the only route home. That night, the four boys were walking back together. They started talking about the haunted house. They joked that Yang was the most cowardly among them. Unwilling to accept that, Yang pointed towards the alley ahead. He suggested, "It's already midnight. How about we go knock on the haunted house door? Whoever doesn't dare is a coward." Lou was already frightened inside, but out of pride he kept silent. The impulsive Liu immediately accepted the challenge. He said, "Fine, we'll each take turns knocking. Whoever backs out is a wimp." The boys reluctantly agreed. As soon as they turned into the alley, they could still hear faint sounds from outside. But the deeper they walked, the more oppressive the atmosphere became. Even though it was midsummer, the air felt freezing cold. All human voices and insect noises vanished completely. The street lights had long since stopped working. Fortunately, the moon was bright that night, so they could still see clearly enough, but the unsettling sense of eeriness lingered around them the entire time. The four silently stopped talking, as if by mutual agreement. Lou already regretted everything, but there was no turning back now, so he forced himself to follow the others to the haunted house gate. The courtyard door was half open. The house door inside was tightly shut. Yang stepped into the yard first. He knocked 3 times on the door. Knock, knock, knock. With each knock, Lou's unease deepened. Afterwards, the courtyard remained utterly silent. The boys exchanged glances. Then they pushed Liu forward to knock next. Just as Liu was about to raise his hand, Yang suddenly shouted, "Ghost!" The other 3 turned and ran in terror. Liu's legs nearly gave out beneath him. He stumbled and almost fell. The 4 of them sprinted desperately out of the dead silent alley. They only stopped once they reached an area where people were still around. At that moment, Yang grinned mischievously. Everyone realized he had been playing a prank. Humiliated, Liu immediately wanted to go back and knock again, but the others hurriedly stopped him. They said it was too late. They should all go home. The 4 stood by the roadside, talking. Liu and Chen stood in front. Yang and Liu were behind them. As they spoke, Liu and Chen instinctively glanced back towards the haunted house. Liu noticed Chen's panicked expression. He saw Chen's eyes repeatedly darting towards the house. Liu followed his gaze. In that instant, every hair on his body stood on end. A wavering white figure stood at the haunted house entrance. It was swaying side to side and staring directly at them. But in the blink of an eye, the white figure vanished. Lou looked at Chen. Chen was also staring back at him with terror in his eyes. Clearly, he had seen it too. Without saying a word, the two silently understood each other. They quickly said goodbye and hurried home. The next evening, Lou and the others planned to visit Yang. They wanted to go to an internet cafe together. But when they arrived at his house, they learned Yang had suddenly developed a high fever. He was bedridden, feeling uneasy. Lou confessed to Yang's mother about their late-night visit to the haunted house. Alarmed and frightened, she planned to seek help the next day. Even though they all felt unsettled, Lou, Liu, and Chen still went to the internet cafe that night as usual. They only returned home around midnight. That night, Lou had a bizarre nightmare. In the dream, he returned to the haunted house. He uncontrollably walked into the courtyard. Inside the house, Yang sat at an old square table eating with his head lowered. He was accompanied by two unfamiliar men. Lou called out to him, but Yang gave no response. Then, from the inner room emerged a woman wearing a white dress. Her face was pale as paper. She glanced at the three men inside before turning to Lou with a smile. She said softly, "We have a guest. Why don't you join us for dinner?" Lou had no appetite at first, but the moment she spoke, the rich aroma of food filled the air. His stomach suddenly growled with hunger. The woman picked up a bowl of food and walked towards him. Lou instinctively reached out to take it. Just then, Dream Yang suddenly coughed. Lou turned to look. Yang still sat there silently eating. But when Lou turned back again, he was horrified beyond words. The woman wasn't holding a rice bowl at all. It was clearly an old braided noose. Realizing this instantly, Lou turned and ran for his life. The woman in white chased closely behind him. Just as he burst through the courtyard gate, it felt as though someone viciously slapped him across the back. Then Lou jolted away. The moment he opened his eyes, his father urged him to get up immediately. He told him to head to his grandfather's house. Only then did Lou learn that all the parents had discovered what happened at the haunted house the previous night, and along with that came devastating news. Something had happened to Yang. Apparently, Yang was burning with fever late into the night. He had sneaked out of the house while his mother, who had been watching over him, fell asleep. On the road, he was struck by a truck. The truck's wheels rolled directly over his waist. Rumor had it he didn't die instantly. He lay there groaning weakly for quite some time. After the incident, the parents hurriedly arranged for the children to leave temporarily. Liu and Chen were sent to distant relatives. Lou was taken by his mother to his grandfather's house. He later stayed in a temple for over a month. As for how the adults eventually settled the matter, none of the children ever learned. Years later, Lou reunited with Liu and Chen. As they reminisced, they were horrified to discover that all three of them had experienced the exact same nightmare that night. Each had fled after seeing the news. When the conversation turned to the white figure in the alley, Lou asked Chen to confirm what he had seen. Chen slowly nodded. He admitted that he had actually seen it twice that night. The first time was when he and Lou exchanged glances. The white figure swayed back and forth at the haunted house entrance. But the second time was when they looked back from the entrance of their residential complex. That drifting white figure was hanging directly above Yang's head. Chen had been too terrified to say anything at the time. He could only pretend he hadn't seen it. Today, the haunted house has long since been demolished, but the experience remained a lifelong shadow over Lou.